Hey everybody, Kojo Creations here, and after 3 days of waiting and painfully suffering, we finally have all of the characters for version 5.3 that we are to be expecting for the patch. And oh man, listen, I know, just like the Wuwa marketing, technically I am late, but of course this is on purpose. I'm not trying to make a separate video for every single piece of drip marketing. The whole point of me reviewing these videos is I read it so you don't have to, and especially when it comes to Genshin Impact, these things have blocks of text on blocks of text. But yes, everybody, it's planned here. We have 3 characters to look for 5.3, and finally they have been all released. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Leave a like and subscribe, and let's get started. So first off, as expected, it's a 0.3 patch, baby. It is Mavuika available as the Archon of Natlan, and ooh, she is controversial, and we'll touch on that later, but of course let's just get right through it. There it is. Let's address the elephant in the room. There's the freaking bike man, and I have some choice opinions on that, but of course let's move on from that. They also have animated ones for every single one. I'm just gonna whisk through them really quick because they're nothing really special, but it is there just to let you know. But yes, let's move on from this to her actual page itself. So here it is. Even in the complex tapestry of Teyvat's night sky, such a dazzling constellation is seldom seen. Its scorching radiance as though it wants to burn a hole through the very fabric of the sky itself when it finally becomes a shooting star streaking towards the horizon. That fire will kindle even the deepest of the coldest nights into the brightest days. Cited by, quote, B during the divination, and I don't know who B is, but I think it's Barbaloth, as lore players were describing it as. You can correct me in the comments, but yes, if you played the 5.1 Archon quest, you know exactly what this thing is referring to. So wink wink nudge nudge, you haven't played it, go play it. But anyways, Mavuika. Oh, you mean the one who competed with me in the Stadium of the Sacred Flame. You think the Archon could hold their liquor better than that? What? They said they got wasted first? No freaking way, not a chance. That day I was, hang on a sec. Now, why did I go see the Pyro Archon today again? Barca's response to Alice's question about the results of the meeting in Natlan as she scratched her head in thought. And yeah, that's right. So not only are we getting a quote from Barbaloth, but we're also getting something from Barca themselves, which, goddamn, where is bro? Bro was supposed to be here literally last year, and they're like, damn, Mondstadt expansion? That's crazy. By the way, we're about to hit Snezhnaya. Anyways, yes, Mavuika, the Night Igniting Flame. Okay, so it's not a motorcycle. Thank God. Natlan's Radiant Sun, Pyronosis, and the Soul Invictus. What is it? What I mean by that is that, like, I thought they were gonna pull a thing where her constellation is a motorcycle, which is just stupid. And again, I'll touch on that later, but you know, it's definitely in line with the themes of the sun that she's been portraying for quite some time. But yeah, that is Mavuika, and let's move on to the actual story segment here. Holy moly, oh my god, dude, look at how much I have to read. That's okay, that's what we're here for, babe. Now let's see, I think she's the one talking here. What is it? Oh no, she's not, someone else. Okay, now how to introduce her. The bearer of King Dwasi, Mavuika, a leader completely worthy of leading the people in Natlan. Woven scrolls and epics record all the most legendary and ancient deeds. The great heroes emerge one after the other, and the glory is passed down from generation to generation. And she has never failed to live up to such a heavy expectation. She who shoulders the title of the strongest, she who respects all beings, be it strong or weak, and treats them all equally. For this, the people love her, sing her praises, and follow her willingly with all their hearts. Each time when she addresses the pilgrimage and the return of the sacred flame, her hair flutters with the sacred flame, and as her majestic voice rings in our ears. She casts an inspiring gaze upon every warrior in Saurian. She calls upon every flame of Natlan, uniting all the fires into the bright light to drive away the darkness. As we support each other, stumbling through the valley of the long boundless night, wiping away the tears from the corners of our eyes, and finally struggle to lift up our heavy heads, we see naught but the unwavering, unchanging red like the sun rising in the east. What did she sacrifice? What did she give up? What kind of will has led her to this day? We have no doubt that she will lead Natlan to yet another victory. Our sun will never set. That is a pretty damn good line. I'd say this is all very comprehensive of the Mavuika that we've been able to see inside you know, the story itself, right? And you know, to be very clear, you know, before you start talking about design stuff, I do like Mavuika as a character, right? I think most of the time in Genshin, characters are generally speaking pretty well written, especially when it comes to the Archon. Now, people have already been contentious with Natlan designs that I've talked about in previous videos, and especially when it comes to this one, I was already not very happy with Chaska and her final design. You know, and there are people like, oh, well, you got to play like the Fire Feather conquest, like, you know, like it looks normal. I'm like, dude, I don't know about that, Chief, because the general comparison, right, becomes like, oh, they've always had advanced technology. There's mechas in Fontaine, yeah, but that's because they have a power system, right? And not that Natlan doesn't have a power system, but the way they use that power system is not really, you know, a big piece of technology, right? It's usually you know, more akin to like more ancient technology that they do. And they're like, oh, well, they have like, you know, Skynet in freaking Sumeru with that. And like, are you really gonna compare like, you know, an earphone to to a motorcycle? It's contentious among the community. It's not that it's bad, right? I think, you know, anything that can be like, you know, really cool and stuff is all right. And especially because Mavuika is based off of Himeko in HI3, it, you know, it is reasonable to assume that she would probably have something like this, but it does really feel out of place, and I'm personally not really a big fan of it. And it's definitely like turning to a head, like, you know, especially when it came to Chaska too. Like, I'm not even really considering pulling for Chaska anymore, because like it's not really going to change my account in any way, and more importantly, like, I just think it looks very silly outside of being able to fly. And I mean, we'll see what she's going to be able to do, but hey, man, if people like it, more power to you. But I mean, there's definitely, you got to see some reasonings with people who are not the happiest with the design, right? And to each their own. But regardless, Mavuika is probably going to do, you know, she'll be pretty exciting, right? Because she should hopefully have a really good character writing. The thing I'm most scared of is because if you remember that Mavuika does have the kind of semblance of time travel inside of her thing, so I feel like they're gonna explain it away with the time travel thing, which is just weird. I don't know about that. Maybe she crosses over to the Himeko universe or the HI3 universe, but either way, that's Mavuika. Let's move on to our next character, that is Citlali. We'll just play the animation out right here. One of the characters is definitely the most excited for. I really do like her design. However, you know, I don't know how much I'll really want to pull for her, because I'm just kind of like, none of the really new units have appealed to me too much. But regardless, also great to have these animations, by the way, because the biggest gripe that happens is that you can never see what's going on back here with the symbols, because the character usually covers it, and people usually have to put together you know, what's going on behind it. But hey, we get to see all of the 6 tribes of Natlan, of course, the symbol right there, and she has her Masters of Night Wind right there. So let's move on to her actual description. I've always thought Citlali was chief material, and that she would take the role on eventually, but 200 years on, and she's still unenthused about going outside ever. It might take a figure more fascinating than those light novels for a genius shaman to take greater interest in the real world. But is there really anyone who can do that? Mavuika. Damn! Mavuika roasted her. Damn! Obsidian, Opal Star, Stargazer, Mexican. I think we know that one. And then the Palina Antividiata, which I believe is a spider based off of it, which I've never actually thought of, you know, Citlali as like a spider design. I think she gives like the least amount of like animal vibes based off like the Natlan cast. But regardless, that's good to know. And then Opal Star is also something that is very evident in her kit. And also, if you've done like a little bit of the Masters of Nightwind, you do know that it kind of does retain to what Mavuika is talking about in this segment, right? She's also Cryovision. Hey, we finally have a cryo character, guys. It's only been 500 days since Shenhe was last seen alive. Anyways, let's move on to the story. All right, whenever a child starts crying uncontrollably, the parents from the Masters of the Night Wind is in need of immediate relief and to make quick use of Granny Itzti. All right, what is it? Okay, I'm sorry. That one I can't pronounce. I'm sorry, because I believe it was Itztal, right? But I don't know. I cannot do it right. Anyway, over the past 200 years, many terrifying rumors have been born from the horrendous defeats she has inflicted upon all challengers, eventually granting the prestige sufficient to silence wailing infants. As a bearer of this title, Citlali has never sought to explain herself, as though she really is a horrific entity. Whoa, okay. But if you should dare set foot into her remote abode, you will find it is a right it is a right mess of wine bottles, snacks, shelves stuffed with bursting with light novels, and you'd be forgiven for thinking for her as less of some old frightening hag in her lair, and more as a hermit in her nest. And in the case of Citlali, will feel the need to argue as such. I'm not a hermit, I'm just above superficial rules of societal etiquettes. Oh, damn, okay, they weren't joking, okay, because we do had the thing, again, if you played the Archon quest in 5.2, you know, Citlali, you know, she has some problems with her grandson, and you know she needs to get, she needs to drink away the pain. You might say this will be an interesting character, considering the direction they're taking with it. Hopefully, it's written well. However, this is definitely leaning towards that side of thing where it's like, hey, you know, damn, I like to stay inside. What? That's crazy, but whatever, right? It's fine. She's cool. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if she's interesting. Whatever. Anyways, next character. I don't think anyone expected a third character, but it is again the 0.3.4 patch cycle, and it looks like we have a new Liyue character. So let's go ahead and take a look right here. And look at that, man. Another Animo Vision, baby. Another one to my collection. So many Animo characters. Yes. Lan Yan, it seems to be. I believe. Is there a space there? We'll see in the post itself. But yes, there she is. And hey, they actually use Liyue music and not just some random Natlan music. Could totally be a thing. By the way, this is a great time to mention, again, I play all the games, you know, comparisons are inevitable to be drawn, but it's really weird how Wuwa, like, what is it, they've been doing their animated drip marketing. Not that Genshin hasn't done animated drip marketing before, but they've never been consistent with it when it comes to it. And suddenly Wuwa's putting animated drip marketing, and then Genshin's like, damn, let's do that too. That's crazy. Anyways, moving on from that, yeah, Lan Yan, she looks cute. Let's see what she's all about. Don't be fooled by her young age. She's been weaving written handicrafts for a decade at least. When I was a kid, I thought it would be funny to trample one of the baskets at home. Oh, whoa, that's rude, bro. Who is talking about this? Luckily for me, Lan Yan and her grandpa came to visit that day to check out our geomantic energies. Yeah, if she hadn't helped me repair the basket, I'm sure I would have gotten a knuckle sandwich. And yeah, I should have expected. It's definitely Ga Ming. And also, you know, just based off the color scheme, right, she does definitely look like she's more from the Chenyu Vale area. She might not actually be like, you know, she holds like the Shenyun color schemes. Them are turquoise, you know, not as much as Liyue's, oranges and yellows and like sunsets and whatnot. But yes, moving on, there it is. Lan Yan, spring woven from the jade, master rattan weaver of the Chenyu Vale. Yeah, see, there you go. Chenyu Vale Artisans Association, Animo Vision, baby, let's go. Hirindo Lazuli, I don't actually know what that means, but whatever, right? And it looks like this bird right here is actually a little bit of a handicraft, so that's cool. She looks cool. Hopefully she has a cool kit. She's like 90% a 4-star, like guaranteed, because the other two have to be 5 stars. And that's because also like Mavuika is definitely a 5-star, and then Masters of Nightwind doesn't have a complete quest, so it's like very obvious who the 5-star is, right? But yeah, here we go, right? It's good to have a new 4-star. When's the last time we had an Animo 4-star? It's like, I was thinking Sayu, Heizo. I guess we haven't been unfed. We have Farzan, Lynette, you know, but nothing too significant, I would say. So hopefully, you know, this character is actually interesting, right? And I highly doubt it's a grouper. Hopefully some sort of support, but I mean, who knows? There's only so many roles you can fill, right? But let's move to her actual story here. Looking good, looking good. All right, let's see here. Madam Lan, are you there? The rattan chair my grandmother left me is broken. You're the only one who can restore this old antique. Madam Lan, I've heard you're well versed in the curious art. I've come here today to discuss the matter of weaving rattan figures. Lan Yan, are you home? When can we go out and play in the house with the fleecy goats again? What is it? Damn, girl is getting pulled left and right. Hey Lan Yan, can you do this? Hey Lan Yan, can you do that? The people of Chenyu Vale, both young and old alike, can often found gathered outside Lan Yan's door. Though they may leave an empty-handed more often than not, their requests are never ignored. Every visitor is a guest, and Lan Yan's mother greets them warmly. Holy shit, a Genshin character with parents, no way. I'm very sorry, but Lan Yan's up in the mountains again. Please have some tea and rest for a while. I'll sure to tell her you stopped by. Whenever playing by the stream, gathered vines for her craft and frolicking with the small animals or sitting in the forest and trees branches weaving. Lan Yan has always loved roaming in the forested mountains like a swallow. She fits between the wilds and her home, so swift and nimble, her home family rarely knows where she is. If your matter is truly urgent, you can venture up to the forested slopes yourself. Follow the sounds of the distant singing and the soft tinking of the silver adornments, and you'll find a free-spirited young lady you seek. Should you spot her through the trees, be sure to call out be sure to call out, and she will greet you with a smile. Despite her nature, Lan Yan is no swallow to be startled by the slightest noise. You came looking for me? Have a drink of water and catch your breath. You didn't bring any? That's fine. Have a sip of mine. Okay. Interesting character. It does feel like, you know, because this is Chen Yu Veil, and Chen Yu Veil was last year, by the way. Can you believe that? It's a little interesting how she's the one that's coming out now of all times, right? Because people were definitely expecting you know, to kind of get the rest of the Adeptuses you know, for the update, which is not a terrible idea, right? But she's like very original, and like Chen Yu Veil being released last year is definitely a bit of a curveball to see someone added this time, because you know Gaming is from Chen Yu Veil as well. Like his parents are from there, of course he left home, etc. But like, you know, he is from there, so he kind of did seem like the de facto Chen Yu Veil character, even if it doesn't really fit, because he, you know, represents a very different aspect of his life. But this is, yeah, this is definitely like the definitive Chen Yu Veil character, which is interesting to see that they're coming back to this all this time. But of course, Genshin Impact, you know, they got to represent their country, so we are probably getting some sort of like lantern right or something of the sorts, right? Because otherwise I have no idea whether we're gonna slot into the Lan Yan, because we haven't even gotten a character hangout in forever, right? And so it's like, it's pretty interesting to see. You know, this is the character lineup that we have coming up for Genshin Impact 5.3. And you know, just a quick review, of course, we got Mavuika there in all her bikey glory, and then we got Citlali, interesting, and then Lan Yan, who is animo character, so yippee. Anyways, but that is gonna be all from this segment of drip marketing. It's interesting, right? I mean, I kind of expressed most of my opinions how I feel about it. I'm not too excited, but we'll see, right? 3 characters within a patch, so at least one of them should draw your interest in some way. But regardless, it looks okay. And if you want to check out you know, all the stuff that we're doing on here, you know, regarding this game and or other games, you can check out all the content we have here on the board. Lots of stuff is going on. The year is starting to close out, so it should be exciting to see what we get around the Game Award time. We should definitely have a Lan Yan teaser or Mavuika teaser of the sorts. It's either gonna be Lan Yan or Mavuika. If it's not Mavuika, low-key kind of a throw, because if you know, Game Awards, there was Yao Yao, Yunjin, you know, each time, and then, you know, this time I really do feel like it should be Mavuika and Lan Yan. Not teasing Mavuika at all at the Game Awards would be a mega throw, if you ask me, because she is such an important character to the story. But regardless, that's all I have for today. See you all next time, and thank you for watching.